Alrighty, also check this out. We're going to be looking at something really cool, I'm thinking, because this is the Lancia Delta S4, but not just the S4. This is the prototype from 1984. This is going to be super interesting. This is like old footage, and from what I've seen, I have maybe like 1 or 2 videos on this car. This thing is literally savage, right? This is one of the cars, or maybe the car, if you want to say, that pretty much put the nail in the coffin for Group B. This thing was insane, right? Twin charged, mean looking, and fast and wild. But I would love to see some prototype testing and really, see what they were thinking with this thing. This comes to us from Delta Dandy. This will be linked in the description down below so you can watch the whole thing uninterrupted and browse their channel. Let's see what this thing's about. You can see it's just kind of an all black, mock-up of a car. This thing is freaky, man. Look at that whole rear end. The whole rear clamshell lifts up. And this thing is built. You see the guts of this thing, you're like, oh, shit. Jeez, look at that thing. Oh, yeah. Look at that thing. Oh my God, there's that engine. How freaking cool is this? Oh my God, look at that thing. Pretty cool seeing them piece this thing together in the lab or whatever you want to call it. Imagine the thrill of building this. Dude, that thing is just a wild car.
Anche tu hai visto che sovrasterzo.
Molto. Questo come ieri.
Esatto.
Look at the wheels on that thing even. Okay, especially in prototype trim, with it all black like that, and just kind of knowing the power of this thing, knowing how ferocious this car was, and, knowing the fate of this thing. I don't know if all that together is, like, legitimate. Remember, I'm a huge car guy my whole life, and like any car guy or race fan, the idea of power and speed is awesome, right? But this thing, I don't know why. I can't really pinpoint it. This car is one of the few cars I've ever seen and heard where I feel like it kind of scares the hell out of me. Like, this thing is awesome, but it's like a mean machine, if that makes sense. There are tons of fast cars that I would just love to hop right in and go. This thing, I legit, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I feel like I would be trembling, like, climbing in this thing. It just looks, it's sinister, and it's so raw and just built up for speed. Oh man, it's an intimidating car. Like, I would legit be nervous getting behind the wheel of this thing. Like, you gotta respect this car. I don't know, that's my take on it. I think this thing is insane.
Giorgio, ho fatto una 6 e una 4 come le altre.
Una 4 o una 6?
Dude, this sounds... Oh my God. This thing is freaking fast. And the sounds it makes... It's freaky, man. Sounds like chaotic. Look at that car. It's so freaking cool, though. Oh my God, what a cool car. Damn, there it goes again. Jeez. That thing is wild. Oh my god, and of course it's spitting flames. Jeez. That thing is freaky, I'm telling you. What a raw machine. Jeez. Damn. That thing is hauling ass. Well, whoever hopped in it for this run is driving the hell out of this thing. And they are braver than I think. Damn, dude. Holy crap. That thing is just got so much power and it's like so lightweight. Wow. Oh my god. That thing is actually crazy. That was a fun video. There's something interesting about seeing iconic vehicles in like the prototype phase. I don't know what it is. It's just kind of cool because I guess in retrospect, you're seeing something that you already know that it was a legend and it was like a significant car in history. So I guess seeing it prototype footage is interesting because, you know, at that time when that was recorded, they might have not known just how big that car was going to be. You know, so in this case, I wonder what was going through their heads designing this thing, right? I mean, clearly they were throwing everything they had at this, right? It's sinister looking. It's planted. It's got tons of power. It's really lightweight. I mean, clearly they were serious about making a ultra fast machine, right? And clearly they were set out to really compete with Audi big time because I'm sure that was an intimidating opponent at the time. Not to mention, it's not like other things in Group B were slouches either. You know, Peugeot, Renault, Ford, you know, there's tons of players in the game. And it was just, you know, the more I see, the more I have fun with it. It's always fun. Group B and that whole era, really the 80s with a lot of motorsports, Formula One included, you know, NASCAR, you could even argue from the American side, of course, rally, right? And I'm sure various other sports. It was just a crazy time and really good era for motorsports overall. It was like all these motorsports were at the point where they were being unleashed right before, you know, the rope got tightened again towards the 90s, right? It was like this tiny window of like, go all out, right? Make the most raw race car you can and throw everything you got at it. Some pretty cool comments on this one. To be fair, this black noisy thing is the fuel of every boy's dream. You may have had an F40 poster on your wall. I had a 1/64 scale S4 on my shelf. Do you hear the noises it makes? Wastegates popping, screaming compressor, just mind-bending. Totally agree. This thing is mind-bending. It's a freaky car in the best way. I did not have one of these on my wall because I didn't know what it was until, you know, a year or two ago. Yeah, what car did you have on your wall if you were a car guy ever since you were little? I had, believe it or not, even though, you know, American, I did have a Corvette on my wall eventually when we're talking maybe like 10 or 11. But going back pretty early, the first car I ever had on my wall, and it was there the whole time as long as it could be, I did have a red Lamborghini Countach on the wall. Really cool poster. So, yeah, I did have a European supercar on there, and it was pretty cool. I think a lot of people, you know, vibed with the Countach. It's a crazy machine. And the funny thing about the Countach is it's like, if you ask me, looks-wise and design-wise, I think it's my favorite-looking Lamborghini of all time, even better than modern ones or whatever. But I actually heard, of course I haven't driven one, but I've heard that, for example, like the Countach, don't get me wrong, is a cool car, but I've heard that they're kind of like crappy to drive or hard to drive. I don't know. So if anyone wants to weigh in on that, if you know about how they drive, maybe you have driven one or you know about that. And then this comment real quick is really interesting. This S4 prototype was actually originally called the 038 because it was the next rally car model for Lancia. The previous was, of course, the 037, they decided to change the name to the S4. Oh, I did not know that. Little known fact, there was an earlier prototype called the Mazinga. This was a very, very early variant of the car. So early, in fact, the front and rear end cover was an 037 cover shaped to fit the body line, so it would seem sort of as if they had a final design on since there weren't any finished bodies yet. That's crazy. After testing, this variant had heat and exhaust issues along with power increase being so great that they needed to upgrade to four-wheel drive. Yes, the Mazinga prototype was rear-wheel drive. Oh my God, this car in rear-wheel drive, it's already dangerous enough. Holy smokes, no way. See what happens when we look up the Mazinga. Oh my God. There it is. What a freak. So there's the 037. God, that is awesome as hell too, in my opinion. Okay, so I don't think that yellow one was it. Here's maybe what we're looking at. 037 Mazinga. Maybe this was super early transition into the S4 then. If we look at this. Wow, that's pretty freaking neat. Wow. Imagine this being rear-wheel drive with all that power. And then, of course, it turned into that. Well, that was an action-packed ride. I hope you enjoyed that one. Got a little bit of adrenaline in me from that. That is just a sick-ass car. I freaking love rally. I say it every time I cover rally. I love it. And discovering these cars is just really something else. Where does the Delta S4 rank for you in your list of favorite rally cars? You'll have to let me know. That's all I got for you in this one, guys. Keep up your awesome suggestions. I do appreciate you being here, even on the weekend. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. Catch you later.